come out and teach our people what they're doing wrong according to the Bible. If you're keeping the law, if you're not keeping the law. Because at the end of the day, on Judgment Day, what we're going to be judged by? According to the scriptures, right? That's right. Let's get a law. Watch this.
Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 5. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment. For all that do so are abomination unto the Lord thy God.
Now listen close, read that first part.
Verse 5. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man.
So the woman shall not wear what pertains to a man. What is that saying? What do women wear today that men wear that they're not supposed to wear?
Well, I heard that we weren't supposed to wear pants.
Not supposed to wear pants, right? So you got it right on the head. So guess what? If I was up here teaching in the dress, would you take me serious?
Bring it out. Bring it out.
No. You see what I'm saying?
I thought all that had been on.
No. What a sign at? Get the sign. Get the sign. With our sisters in the cotton field. I think this here right here. Now, look. If you look closely at this sign, right? This is slavery. Where you see our sisters at? Our foremothers. In the field with what on? With dresses on, right? So that lets you know this is our custom. Women in dresses. Right. This is something new in the earth. Right. You ever heard of the feminist movement? That's when that came about. When the white woman came and said we want to be equal with the man. So our women said we're gonna follow the white woman. That's where that came from. That's right. But watch this. What you was finna say, sis?
Well, like, I don't feel comfortable.
Why you say that? Okay, read that. 1 Timothy 2.
1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 9. In like manner also, that women adorn themselves in modest apparel.
In what?
In modest apparel.
So modest apparel, if you type in Google, type in princess in Google, what's gonna come up? A woman in a dress, right? Why won't a woman in pants come up?
Bring it out.
Because that's not something that women was ever supposed to wear, especially the women of Israel.
That's right.
Because the Bible from front to back is speaking about the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. The people you see on this sign. And the reason we went into slavery is because what? We disobeyed God. Right. So something as simple as Zephaniah 1:8. Something as simple as not wearing pants, that's easy. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight. You buy you some dresses, you slowly throw the pants away.
That's right.
But listen to this. It's a judgment for that, sis. Watch this.
Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 8. Bring it out. And it shall come to pass in the day of the Lord's sacrifice that I will punish the princes and the king's children and all such as are clothed with strange apparel.
So, you so-called black and Hispanic women, y'all are the chosen women of God. And God said, guess what? That women not supposed to wear pants. So guess what? In order to make it into the kingdom, y'all must do what? Put on dresses, put on skirts. And what must you put at the bottom of your dresses? Matthew 5:17.
Bring it out.
What was the question, sis?
I was saying that was under the old law, the Mosaic law. And we don't live under that law. We live under grace now. And when Jesus died on the cross, he shed his blood for our.
So we under grace now.
So we're under grace. We don't have.
What does grace teach us? Hold that. Get that. Listen to this, sister. Because I get what you said.
Matthew chapter 5, verse 17. Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. But to fulfill.
So now, hold that. We coming right back here. Go to John 5. Because you said we not under the Mosaic law. So my question to you is, sis, when Christ was walking the earth, what was he teaching? The New Testament had not yet been put on the earth. So what was Christ teaching?
He was teaching the gospel from what his Father gave him.
Which was what? Which was what? Where was he teaching from? The Old or the New Testament? If the New Testament wasn't done away yet.
It had to be the Old Testament.
Okay, exactly. Watch this. John 5 and 46. Get that. Read that.
The book of John, chapter 5 and verse 46. Bring it out. For had ye believed Moses, ye will have believed me. For he wrote of me.
For he what?
Wrote of me.
So Christ said, if you believe Moses, you'll believe me. Because what? Moses spoke of Christ.
That's right.
So we know that Christ was spoke of in the Old Testament.
That's right.
Finish that off.
But if you believe not his writing.
But if you what?
But if ye believe not his writing.
But if you believe not Moses' writings, read.
How shall ye believe my words?
How shall you what?
How shall ye believe my words? After this.
So now, sis, by you saying, what you're saying is this. When you say that we no longer under the Old Testament, what book have you ever picked up and started in the middle of the book?
Bring it out.
What book ever known to man have you ever picked up and started off in the middle of that book?
Bring it out.
The Bible.
And what book?
Listen, how you gonna understand the Bible if you don't know what happened in the beginning?
Bring it out.
Well, the beginning is a foreshadow of what's to come.
So that means we still keep what was foreshadowed to come then, right?
That's right.
Some of it.
Get Titus 2. Because listen, you said grace. Let's show you what grace is according to God.
Bring it out.
Because what happens is a lot of times we just quote what we've heard. Let's see what the Bible says about grace. Watch this.
The book of Titus, chapter 2, verse 11. For the grace of God that bringeth salvation had appeared to all men, teaching us.
Doing what?
Teaching us, denying ungodliness and worldly lust.
And what?
Worldly lust.
So denying ungodliness and worldly lust, read.
We should live soberly, righteously.
What?
Righteously.
We should live righteously. What's righteously? What's
Bring it
righteousness
out.
according to the Bible?
Bring it out.
What's righteousness? Get that.
Being the righteousness of Christ and knowing the word and following Christ.
Which is what? Sum it up in one word. The what? Watch this. I got you.
Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 25. And it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments.
We observe to do what?
All these commandments before the Lord our God, as he has commanded us.
Read.
When the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and has cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou.
So now, what we have to do, because what we read here is the history. So when we kept the commandments, God did what? He cast away the other nations that was above us.
That's right.
So are we at the top or the bottom right now, sis?
Bring it out.
We at the top. Why you say that? As a nation of people, from what you see in society, in our communities, on the news, what we see around us, are we at the top or the bottom?
We're at the bottom now, but I'm saying in Christ, we're at the top.
How so?
His righteousness.
So we at the top right now in Christ.
Yeah, his righteousness.
Get Deuteronomy 28.
Bring it out.
Watch this, sis. I got to show you something. So now, hold that before we go there. Go to Proverbs 7 and 2, then go to Deuteronomy 28. So now, the Old Testament laws, are they done away with?
No, not all of them.
So the statement you made earlier, you said that we no longer under the Old Testament.
We no
Bring it
longer
out.
under the law, the law of Moses.
Which is what?
We're not under that.
What's the law of
The
Moses?
10 Commandments.
So we're not under the law then, that's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, watch this. I'm gonna prove you wrong. Listen to this.
Proverbs
No,
chapter
what I'm
7
saying
verse
is-
2.
Hold on. What you say, sis?
The 10 Commandments still hold true. What I'm saying is, when Jesus came on the scene,
Right.
when the veil was rent, all
Right.
of that, some of that stuff what was done back then, I think that's
Let's
the
see
reason why-
what exactly was done away. Because what you saying is not all the way wrong, but you missing. There's one law that was done away with, sis. Let's get that. Watch this. Read that.
Proverbs chapter 7 verse 2.
Bring it out.
Keep my commandments and live, and my law as the apple of thine eye.
So we still have to keep the commandments. Let's see what law is done away with. Get Hebrews. Hebrews 10.
Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 3.
Bring it out.
But in those sacrifices there is a remembrance again. Verse 4. For it is not possible that the blood of bulls and of goats should take away sins.
So blood of bulls and goats was what? The sacrificial law. So that's what we don't have to do anymore, sis.
That's
We don't
right.
have to sacrifice
I know,
animals.
because Jesus is the ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah, according to that, but you still have to keep the commandments though. Meaning what? Women not supposed to wear pants.
Right.
Deuteronomy 22 and
I
5.
still say that was abolished because I don't think Jesus is concerned with all of that.
See, Zephaniah 1 and 8.
Bring it
So,
out.
the laws of God we still have to keep today on the earth. The only thing that God did away with, brothers and sisters, is the sacrificial law.
That's right.
Read that.
Zephaniah chapter 1 verse 8. And it shall come to pass in the day of the Lord's sacrifice that I will punish the princes and the king's children and all such as are clothed with strange apparel.
Clothed with strange apparel, sis. So what's strange apparel to the Most High God, sister? Women in pants, men in dresses. That's not how God set it up.
Right.
Get, what that is, upright. Ecclesiastes 7:29. Understand that, sis, the only thing that we do not have to keep today is the sacrificial law. But the rest of the laws in the Bible, we must keep. We just don't have to sacrifice animals no more for our sins.
Right. Let me ask you this question. What day was ordained by Jesus, day of worship? What day was that?
The Sabbath day.
That's right. What day was it?
The 7th day, sis.
What's the 7th day?
The Sabbath.
What day?
Read that. Hold on. Watch this. Read that.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse 21. Now, lo, this only have I found, that God has man made upright, but they have... Lo, this only have I found, that God has made man upright, but they have sought out many inventions.
God said men have sought out many inventions.
Right.
So that goes back to what? Homosexuality and men wearing women's clothing.
Right.
So if God don't want men wearing what women wear, guess what? Women got to wear what women wear, not what men wear.
That's
so
right.
Sis, if you want to get into the kingdom, you can't wear pants, sis. What's your question, though?
That's about the Sabbath.
Get the Sabbath day.
Was set aside.
The 7th day, sis. Saturday.
I know we're supposed to keep every day holy.
The first day of the week is Sunday. Get the Sabbath. Let's deal with one question at a time. Read that.
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 8.
Bring it up.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shall thou labor and do all thy works. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work. Thou, nor thy sons, nor thy daughters, thy maidservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates.
So sis, you heard that? Get Genesis 2 and 3.
Watch this.
Did you hear that, sis?
Bring it out.
We'll just read it. 2 and 2. Genesis 2 and 2.
Genesis chapter 2 verse 2.
Bring it out.
And on the 7th day God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the 7th day.
And he did what?
Rested on the 7th day.
Rested on the 7th day. So guess what? On the Sabbath day is what God hallowed unto himself.
That's right.
Sirach 33. Read that.
The book of Sirach, chapter 33, verse 7. Why does one day excel another? Whenas all the light of every day in the year is of the sun. But by the knowledge of the Lord by the knowledge of the Lord they were distinguished. And he altered seasons and feasts.
And he did what?
Altered seasons and feasts.
So the days that the world, like Christmas, Thanksgiving, those are regular days. This is the Apocrypha. This part of the 1611 King James Bible. Read.
Some of them had he made high days and hollow days. And some of them had he made ordinary days.
Some of them had he made ordinary days.
Now they will see the judgment of God. We are not black men, we are Israelites.
So hard to serve God. And why when I say that I'm a Jew, it sound odd. For years I've been walking around saying that I'm a black man. I ain't saying that no more, it sounds wrong, man.
This is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. Please subscribe to our YouTube channels. Stay up to date with our latest events, music, and classroom lessons. IUIC plans to continue visiting different countries where this gospel has not been preached before. IUIC needs your help in pushing this truth. So join us. Subscribe to our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and podcasts, and stay up to date with us. For more information, please visit www.israelunite.org.